So I have a 4-year-old, Anaiah, and she was born with spina bifida. So Anaiah, as I said, was born with spina bifida, and she spent like 35 days in the NICU. So I remember while she was doing her clubfoot serial casting, I was talking to her doctor, and he said to me, if I want to see significant gains and progress, we have to do more than just early intervention. She hit the 6-month mark and she was starting to sit up, and then between 6 and 8 months, everything changed, right? She developed hydrocephalus, and once she had her surgery, at that point, her head had gotten so big that she couldn't hold her head up anymore. It felt like she was stuck, like she wasn't progressing as much. And then I Googled in the Facebook group, and I saw where some families were talking about, because of the the nerve damage that kids with spina bifida have, that they depend a lot on muscle memory, and that these intensive programs were really beneficial to the kids. When I looked up breakthrough, I felt a connection, just looking at the videos that I had seen online, it made me feel like, okay, this could be a potential fit for us. When we first started, it was during COVID, and she started to make some progress because I had to become the PT, right? And I'm like trying, and I'm like, but I realized like my efforts just weren't cutting it. And coming to breakthrough, when we did that evaluation, like the meet and greet and the evaluation, she was just so happy. Like, she was excited that she was able to jump, because she would watch like the little YouTube videos, and she would lay on the ground and say, "Mommy, look, I'm jumping." And then the minute she got into the bungees and she was able to jump, she was just so happy and so excited and so motivated. And for me, that was literally the selling factor. Like, she was just so comfortable that I was like, I need to make this happen. I felt happy. I was just, I don't even know how to put it into words. It's like, now that she was actually being able to do it, it was like her whole world changed. It was like, look at me, look at what I can do kind of thing. And that joy, seeing her realize that, hey, I could do this and I could do anything, it brought me a sense of peace and comfort. I realized that it literally is more than just therapy, right? It's like that family friend that really isn't that family friend, because your family means well, they're all loving, but sometimes they just don't get it, right? But here is somebody that actually cares, not just about Anaiah, but cares about our family and the goals for the family. As I said, I wanted her to be independent, and I wanted to see that she was meeting her milestones, because we kept doing all these evaluations and I kept hearing, oh, she's delayed in this, she's delayed in that. And I'm like, well, I'm doing all that I could do, but I wanted to ensure that I was giving all that I could pour into her. And after starting Breakthrough, I realized that, okay, now she needed more. So the 30 minutes just wasn't working because it wasn't enough for her. I realized that we started to see a difference. But it wasn't until this February where, she had, for that month, the 2-hour sessions every Saturday. And by the end of the month, she had just made so much progress that I was like, okay, I'm really getting it now. I'm getting that, she just needs more time and repetition. So I think one of the biggest things for me is now she can stand supported to wash her hands. So we're in an apartment and it's not wheelchair accessible. So getting her to, do little independent things that toddlers do, like wash their hands. Someone had to lift her and hold her over the sink in order for her to wash her hands. And then after a while, it started getting uncomfortable for her. It started getting uncomfortable for me because I'm like trying to like hook her up, and then we're leaning forward and her stomach is pressing into the countertop, and she would complain that, oh, it's hurting. So now that she is able to, just with a little bit of support, stand to wash her hands, she is like any other toddler. I think it's how it makes Anaiah feel, specifically about the office, because she considers the family room her office and she gets a kick out of being here. She just has a genuine love for Breakthrough and for the staff, and they treat her like family. So I feel like we're treated like family as well. I think it has grown and it is continuing to grow. She's definitely more confident since she started, and with every new milestone, you see it. You see it in how she holds herself. You see it in how she speaks. Like it translates into other, areas of her life. Having done an intensive elsewhere in addition to Breakthrough, for me, the biggest thing is that sense of community and family. It's not busy and chaotic and hectic. You don't feel like you're lost in the mix. Anaiah has attention issues, so she struggles with focus. And in an environment where there's a lot going on, she is highly distracted. So I appreciate that, the fact that we are treated like family. The fact that I feel as though consistently you're willing to listen, that there is a genuine care, and you will go above and beyond within your means to support us. When we heard about the spinal stimulation and I spoke to Christine, said, hey, I wanted to try it out. And we went, we did it, came back, I told her about it, and then I was like, oh, they're offering a course. Would you be interested? And she's like, of course. I was like, okay, because at first I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know if this is something that I can ask. And I just worked up the courage, and to my surprise, not only did Christine look into it, but Jenna did too. So, we were talking about traveling on vacation, and I was nervous to take Anaiah's wheelchair because I've heard horror stories of chairs getting damaged by the airlines. And Jenna was like, oh, I heard about this great company, Frog Mobility, and they make like wheelchairs that you can use, and looked into it, and it was perfect. It fit into a suitcase, and she was able to have her independence to play with her cousins during spring break. So, it's just those little things that are not so little, that have huge impacts on us that you wouldn't ordinarily get anywhere else.